We applaud those companies and individuals that have contributed to the Solidarity Fund and in other ways to our response. And these include companies such as Volkswagen, which is building a field hospital in an unused factory in Nelson Mandela Bay.
Yes, it was about 3 days into the national lockdown that Dr. Andrew Muir, the president of the Business Chamber, called me up and asked me to accompany him to a meeting with the Command Council in Nelson Mandela Bay. So on a Sunday morning, we met Shane Brown, the head of disaster management, and Dr. John Black, who was leading the medical team at the time. And they outlined what the projections are for Nelson Mandela Bay in terms of infections and deaths. And I must say, I almost had a heart attack when I heard all of that. So we then went back to the drawing board. We tried to see how we can possibly assist. So we looked at facilities that we could possibly offer as Volkswagen. We have the PE plant, a massive facility that is currently vacant, 66,000 square meters under roof, and then reached out to the German government to ask for some assistance in it. German government under the Development Ministry has a program called Develop PP, which supports German companies in countries abroad if the companies help at the same time. So we decided we're going to do this together, and I'm very happy that the German government had such a pragmatic and fast way to get it approved and come on this journey with us.
We became involved because I think every citizen and every business has a responsibility to respond to a crisis of this nature. This is unprecedented times, and as Nelson Mandela Bay and as the business chamber of Nelson Mandela Bay, we realized that we could not stand back and stand idle at this time.
So what we really decided to do was to have a joint operations committee set up internally and invite our members to come and participate and really brainstorm around what it is that we can do, how we can help our metro. This is when the meeting started with the Metro Command Council, together with some of the doctors who then told us what the need was. And we went back to our members of the business chamber and we said, the need is dire, we need your help. And immediately they started helping. So during those meetings, which we held every week, this is where even this big idea of a field hospital was born. And that's when Thomas Schaefer says, actually, I could go to Germany and ask for some funding.
The intervention by Volkswagen South Africa and the German government came at a right time. That actually was neatly dovetailing into our broader strategy of establishing more field hospitals. We are looking for more beds as Eastern Cape government to increase our capacity to ensure that whoever will be in need of hospitalization, that person will be able to get that kind of support from government. Surely this is going to go a long way in saving many lives.
The agreement with the GIZ was quite extensive. They have lists and packages of documentation need to be completed. However, highly supported by the GIZ in the time that they took from originally asking the question whether they are interested or keen on supporting and funding the project to the date of payment into our account has been unimaginable.
During lockdown, we quickly got a team on board, a lot of people from VW and also some external architects working pro bono. Phase 1 is just over 1,500 beds. The biggest challenge is the extremely tight timing, 6 or 7 weeks for phase 1 to come in. And we have to use sort of classic project management tools, put the right organization in place, and many long hours, late evening meetings, working weekends, check the funding carefully and manage the timelines to get the thing done on time.
The agility of the private sector to deliver on time, turnaround time, clearly there you are also looking more professionalism, and people know if there are timeframes must be met. Everyone must play his or her part. We are playing our part. Remember, we've signed a contract with them before they committed that. They put certain conditions that we must do so that we don't have a white elephant in the form of that field hospital. All employees that will be working there will be employed by the provincial government. all the support, and we'll be running that as part of our hospital. The medicine that will be there to look after those patients will be a contribution from provincial government. So we are partnering on that. They are setting up the field hospital. Provincial government is partnering with them to ensure that that is actually going to be a success.
This facility is actually a big plus to the fight against COVID, because what it is going to do, it is going to ensure that the huge numbers of the surge positive cases that are coming through now will all be admitted in this facility, and ensuring that we contain and flatten the curve further so that we can manage. And as a department, we are extremely excited and thankful to Volkswagen and the German government for this contribution that will ensure that we are fighting the scourge of COVID.
So we were obviously put under a lot of pressure to get the facility ready as soon as possible, as the infection rate is rising continuously. So we did the announcement on the 5th of May, and within 7 weeks we completed now this facility to the first stage, which is 1,485 beds.
The idea that you could actually build a field hospital within a very short of time to really respond to the very potential growth of number of patients that needed care and support. And we are highly appreciative, because we think with this kind of an investment and the levels of staffing and the equipment that we're going to have, it's going to give us a winning chance to really deal with the COVID.
A message to VW and the German government is that Nelson Mandela Bay is deeply humbled and deeply appreciating this significant contribution to better the lives of citizens of Nelson Mandela Bay.
Solidarity in a crisis is absolutely key, so we had to pull together in this, and I'm very happy that not only the South African government, whether national, provincial or the metro, and the private companies have come together, but also that the German government actually came to the help of South Africa at the time of need to reach out with no strings attached. And I think that is noteworthy, and we could see it's not only Volkswagen, it's many other companies that came on board to help in this crisis, and I think that's a fantastic sign of how we should work in this country.
We really express our sincere word of gratitude to German government, Volkswagen South Africa, and all the relevant business entities that are working with them. In this one, they came at the right time. It's a very progressive way of working with people where you are doing business. So, as I've said before, this is going to go a long way in saving many lives.
As a son of Port Elizabeth, I'm so grateful for this field hospital, as I know how much help it will give to the people of the community, especially from the townships of Port Elizabeth. And a lot of people who get sick won't have places to go to. But now with this, what VW has done is really amazing. And it just shows, as we said, as a team, we are stronger together. It shows how people are working hard to make sure that this fight is being fought properly and hard, and equipping one another, because this is the fight for humanity, and now it is time to help one another. So thank you so much to VW. Siyabulela, Dankeschön.
It was very important for me to send you this message today, because I feel that this is a very important moment for you, for all of us, but also for South African-German relations. What we are inaugurating today is not only helpful for possibly many thousand South Africans, and it might be a question of life and death that this field hospital is there. It is also a symbol. It is a symbol of two nations who are willing to cooperate, a symbol of two nations who have understood that we can only overcome this virus and this crisis together, and a symbol of solidarity.